Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Mary Lee. It's good to have you with us. Coming up at this week's top stories, in Hualien, we joined the third simulation surgery course of 2015. Ahead of their winter aid distributions, Tzu Chi volunteers in Hebei, China, visit care recipients to find out their needs. And finally, in Guandu, Taipei, Tzu Chi volunteers held an event to celebrate the 7th lunar month. The third simulation surgery course of 2015, held by the Tzu Chi Medical Simulation Center, recently kicked off in Hualien, Taiwan. During the course of the 4 days, medical students will have the chance to brush up on their medical skills and learn valuable lessons from 8 silent mentors. Prior to the start of the course, family members of the silent mentors gathered to express their well wishes to their loved ones.
At the Medical Simulation Center in Hualien, Taiwan, family members of 8 silent mentors expressed their well wishes to their loved ones before the opening ceremony of the third simulation surgery course.
The event is made possible because of everyone's selfless dedication.
Silent mentor Xu Lingmu, who passed away at the age of 83, was a kind father in the eyes of his children. Before his passing, Xu Ling and his wife devoted themselves to recycling and to collecting donations from Tzu Chi members.
My father's life has temporarily come to an end. However, he often said that we don't have a claim on our life, but only the right to use it.
Keeping Master Zheng Yan's words of wisdom close to heart, Xu Ling decided to donate his wife's cornea to help someone in need following her passing. Later, he also signed up as a silent mentor for the sake of medical science.
Today, with the help of future doctors, my father's life has come full circle. I think this is the best lesson my father taught me.
Following the opening ceremony of the simulation surgery course, medical students and teachers begin their first lesson. Daling Tzu Chi Hospital Dr. Luo Ziwen, who is also a Tzu Chi University alumnus, show important trepanation techniques to the students.
I'm here with a heart filled with gratitude. It is such a rare opportunity for me to come back here to share my experience and skills with these medical students.
Before passing away, silent mentor Chen Zhu Baodao had to endure the pain and discomfort caused by liver cancer for 6 years. Despite her illness, Chen remained optimistic and even decided to become a silent mentor.
My mother used to tell me that she'd rather have medical students make wrong cuts on her donated body instead of making a mistake on patients' bodies.
Silent mentors hope their dedication can help future doctors improve their skills while inspiring them to become good doctors.
Silent mentors give medical students the chance to make mistakes now. These future doctors have the chance to improve their skills and knowledge on how to complete more complicated surgeries. We are truly thankful to the silent mentors for giving us this rare opportunity to learn.
To express their thanks to the silent mentors, the medical students here today owe vow to become doctors that will work to alleviate pain and suffering in the near future.
Turning our camera to Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers from the Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter recently visited an Indian family who has 12 children to try to persuade the parents to let their children who have dropped out to return to school. As previous visits were unsuccessful, this time the volunteers brought along a school teacher to help emphasize the importance of an education. Here in Kuala Lumpur, Tzu Chi volunteers from the Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter and a teacher from a local Tamil elementary school are visiting an Indian family. 3 children from this family have dropped out of school. However, Tzu Chi volunteers hope to persuade them to return.
So I spoke to my HM today, this morning. I say I'm going to follow Tzu Chi volunteers to the Indian family. She said, please go and help the Indian community, because when the Chinese can come all out to do, we as an Indian, we should do something. And some more, they are my ex-students, so I really want to help him.
We thought asking a teacher to come to talk to this family would be the best way to change their minds, as we talked to them before and the family refused to listen to us. We really hope to get the children back in school.
The family's 16-year-old has not been able to find a suitable job since dropping out. Thus, the volunteers suggested that he sign up to attend a teen vocational center to continue with his education.
Yeah, it's good. It will help their future, you see, because they are not going to school. They stopped halfway. This skill, I think, will help them more in their lives. They can stand on their own and can support the family also.
Tzu Chi volunteers hope to give these children who have left their educational path the ability to shine despite their circumstances. Back in Taiwan, in Hualien, Tzu Chi volunteers once again met with the members of Tzu Chi tribe to bring their message of replacing the consumption of alcohol with tea. Attending the meeting was tribal member and Tzu Chi care recipient Mr. Huang, who shared with volunteers the devastating effects that alcoholism has had on his life and the life of his family. Listening to the volunteers' message of replacing alcohol with tea is care recipient Mr. Huang and his daughter. Several years ago, following the passing of his son, Mr. Huang began to drink heavily, losing his health, job, and family in the process.
Before, I would bring home 70 to 80,000 NT dollars a month. However, once I started drinking, I didn't have the heart to work anymore. When my son passed away, my daughter was still in primary school. Now she is already bound for college.
After my brother died, my father started drinking heavily. There was not much I could say, as he didn't want to change. I just hope that one day he will stop drinking.
Tzu Chi volunteers are once again here with members of the Tzu Chi tribe to encourage them to give alcohol a pass.
We start from ourselves and then can help those around us. That way, everyone can enjoy a healthy life, right?
Volunteers hope that more families here will learn to leave drinking behind on their way to a healthier and more loving life. For the past 9 years, Tzu Chi volunteers in Hebei, China, have been visiting needy families ahead of their winter relief distributions. This year, they visited a senior couple in Laiyan County, only to find out that the couple has only one pair of winter pants to share between the two. To help, the volunteers promised that they would return with plenty of warm clothes and blankets for the seniors to get through the winter months ahead.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Hebei are heading to Doujunwan village in Laiyan County. For 9 years, the volunteers have been visiting needy families before winter sets in. Wu Fengqing was alone at home since her husband was out harvesting crops.
只有一条棉裤，那你们两个怎么穿？冬天再说冬天呗。
Grandma Wu was vague about how she and her husband passed their winter month.
那棉裤呢？棉裤在里头里。对，这是你的唯一的财产，是不是？
When he goes out, she stays near the bed stove. Since they share the pants, only one of them can go out at a time.
The volunteers decided to come again before winter sets in to bring clothing and blankets for the two seniors. Wu said she suffers from constant aches and pains, and that this year's harvest has been poor. However, with the volunteers' care and encouragement, she will stay strong and optimistic.
奶奶，我真心祝福你。穷开，我们大家都要学奶奶一样，穷开，穷开。我今天学到，跟奶奶学到穷开，穷开心，穷开心。
Once again, Tzu Chi is bringing Taiwanese rice to the hungry residents of Africa, with volunteers from South Africa joining their counterparts in Swaziland for their latest distribution in the landlocked country. The road is long but filled with joy. The 500 kilometers drive from South Africa's Durban to Swaziland is over 6 hours. However, volunteers make good use of every minute. From a distance, the bags of rice seem to stand at attention. Distributed to residents, they become seeds of hope. bags are also seen at home visitations. In addition to rice, the volunteers also bring concern and care. The distribution was handled by volunteers from both South Africa and Swaziland and was a chance for everyone to learn and grow.
Every person is here to learn. If there are misunderstandings, they should be communicated to the party involved. Don't go behind people's back. As Tzu Chi volunteers, we need to practice right speech and mindfulness.
Thanks to these local volunteers, Tzu Chi's message and efforts here in Africa continue to grow and prosper. According to Chinese culture, the 7th lunar month is also called Ghost Month and is a time during which people burn joss paper and prepare meat offerings to honor the dead. However, for Buddhists, the lunar month of July is instead a month of auspiciousness, gratitude, and joy. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers in both Singapore and Hong Kong organized blessing ceremonies to teach the public how to mark the occasion in the correct manner.
To encourage members of the public to stop burning joss paper during the 7th lunar month, Tzu Chi volunteers in Hong Kong put together a skit.
I used to burn joss paper when I was in China, but I stopped burning it after I moved here.
I think burning joss paper is very dangerous. We'll create a lot of smoke when we burn it, and the ash flakes will spread everywhere. I never burn joss money.
Since I stopped burning joss paper, I have been donating that money to my bamboo coin bank. All of us donate a little every day.
During the 7th lunar month, people tend to burn large amounts of joss paper to mark the occasion. To teach people the correct way to observe the month, over the years, Tzu Chi volunteers have been holding blessing ceremonies instead of religious assemblies.
The only way to achieve peace is to go meatless. We should not be superstitious and need to have a correct mindset. It is also important for us to form good affinities with relatives, friends, and everyone around us.
Meanwhile, in Singapore, Tzu Chi volunteers put on a musical to remind the public that fulfilling filial duties cannot wait. Tzu Chi volunteer Lian Mei shares with everyone how she introduced Buddhism to her father through Dai TV and Jingsi aphorisms.
I don't want my dad to sit at home watching dramas all the time, so I decided to pass on one Jingsi aphorism to him every day. He really puts his heart into copying down the aphorisms and even writes down the date he learns each phrase.
The 7th lunar month blessing ceremonies held by the Tzu Chi Singapore chapter saw a total participation of 2,000 people. According to Buddhists, the lunar month of July is a month of joy, gratitude, and auspiciousness. The volunteers also set a booth to inspire the public to go meatless and stop burning joss paper for the sake of the planet.
Some traditions need to be changed. I think we can stop burning joss paper and donate the money for something more meaningful. Future generations will suffer if we don't start taking care of the planet.
From now on, I'll stop burning joss money and replace meat offerings with flowers.
要生产1公斤的肉，我们需要20公斤的谷粮来喂食这些牲畜嘛。
Adopting a meat-free diet is good for our body. We should stop killing animals because they can feel pain just like us.
Instead of praying for blessings, many happily donated their filled bamboo coin banks as a way to cultivate blessings for themselves while helping the less fortunate.
To also mark the 7th lunar month, a music concert was held at the Tzu Chi Guandu grounds. A drum team made up of staff from Daai TV gave a passionate opening performance, while the a cappella group VOX amazed the audience with their beautiful voices.
the drum team of Daai TV kick off the event with a round of passionate drumming. Next, volunteers put on a sign language performance of the kneeling lamp and a play. The play portrayed a son who has been preoccupied with work while neglecting his mother. Fortunately, off stage, the actor is actually very close to his mother.
According to Earth Treasury Sutra, we should walk the Bodhisattva path with our parents. I feel very happy that my wife's mother guided us onto this Bodhisattva path.
My son and his wife are very good to me. When I do not feel well, my daughter-in-law takes me to the hospital. If I'm feeling down, they take me out on weekends.
Since numerous disasters are taking place around the world, it has become more urgent for people to harbor correct mindfulness and reach out to the needy.
开始不烧金纸，不烧金纸，请举手好吗？哇，给自己一个掌声。
The master has been promoting this idea. Besides, dead people do not need that kind of money, right?
Sincerity is all that matters. It's also a way for us to honor our ancestors, so just be sincere.
The VOX ensemble also put on a cappella performance, bring the audience a moment of warmth and joy during this very auspicious month.
It has been 8 years since the establishment of Daai TV Indonesia, and to celebrate the occasion, staff members launched a book drive on behalf of those living in remote areas. By sending books to residents in remote areas, the staff hope to improve literacy levels around the country. Let's join a seminar where Daai TV viewers and scholars share their thoughts on the positive changes the station has brought them.
To celebrate the 8th birthday of Daai TV Indonesia, staff members organized a seminar in Jakarta where scholars and viewers gathered to share their thoughts on the changes the station has brought to society.
I think what makes Daai TV Indonesia so unique is that the station focuses on spreading the concept of love. I believe this is something that not many TV stations can achieve.
Scholars and the public look to Daai TV Indonesia to continue reporting on the goodness of the world while being a role model for other stations to follow.
Compassion in action.
Our goal is to put love into action. We want to encourage our viewers to be grateful and care for one another.
To mark the occasion, staff members at Daai TV Indonesia launched a book drive on social media with the goal of collecting 1,000 books for schools and communities in remote areas. Upon learning of the cause, people from far and wide happily donated their love.
All of us are very surprised by the result. We received books from various places across Indonesia, such as South Sumatra, Siandra of West Java, Batam, and Jakarta.
At the end of the book drive, more than 3,000 books were collected. The founder of the Reading Multantuli group happily received the books from Daai TV Indonesia.
I hope Daai TV Indonesia can continue being a station that spreads great love and positive values to its viewers.
To celebrate the 22nd anniversary of the Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter, more than 200 staff members of Tzu Chi's 4 missions came together to perform in front of an audience that included Dharma masters from Hualien's Jingse abode. The performance represented how staff members and volunteers in Malaysia have worked to spread the seeds of love regardless of ethnic or religious differences.
Wearing traditional costumes, they represent Malaysia's 3 largest ethnic groups: Indians, Malays, and Chinese. Celebrating the 22nd anniversary of the Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter, staff members of Tzu Chi's medical mission performed sign language songs, and a dialysis patient came to express his gratitude at the Tzu Chi Dialysis Center in Penang.
There was a time when my family of 8 could only have soup for meals because of me. I felt bad they had to live like
For 22 years, Tzu Chi's 4 missions have flourished in Malaysia. Starting with 18 Tzu Chi volunteers, volunteers in Malaysia have now spread out to 14 states, where they continue to nurture love and compassion in all whom they meet.
I'm very touched to see how the staff members of Tzu Chi's missions came together and rehearsed in such a short period of time. This is not put together by money. It is put together through effort and the Master's teachings.
During the celebration, dialysis patients and their families performed a round of passionate drumming. Ahead of the celebration, all performers, including volunteers and Tzu Chings, practice hard. From morning till night, the participants seize every moment to practice.
唱这样的歌呢，这个要很投入，要很深入，来去表露出我们的感情啊。
这个位置就是你们的位置。
Facing sudden rain, the participants continue to practice holding umbrellas. Coming together to celebrate 22 years of Tzu Chi in Malaysia, the staff members and volunteers also show that they're ready to continue carrying out Tzu Chi's missions in the years ahead.
Tzu Chi volunteers in the Dominican Republic recently held their second volunteer training seminar of the year. During the seminar, volunteers from the United States shared past experiences and held a ceremony in which they handed out new uniforms, which are embedded with Tzu Chi's responsibilities to newly recruited volunteers.
Jadala, who is among the volunteer trainees, was not used to putting her hair up in a bun like the other volunteers. However, she learned that this is part of Tzu Chi etiquette. She also invited her cousin to join the training. Another volunteer trainee, Jose, is a Christian who came knowing Tzu Chi through translating for the organization. Jose now has a deeper understanding of the law of cause and effect.
The law of cause and effect is not a joke. I personally can testify to that.
Tzu Chi volunteers from America also arrived to share their stories before holding the handover ceremony, where they passed on new uniforms as well as the baton of love and responsibility.
On September 4th, the 8th annual Taipei International Vegetarian and Health Exhibition was held at the Taipei World Trade Center. To attract more members of the public to the 4-day event, many of the vendors held on-site demonstrations on the ease and benefits of vegetarian food. We will leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for watching. See you next week.